Hey, I'm Ashley, social worker and yoga therapist, and this is Yoga Therapy with Ashley, where we explore what it really means to heal from the inside out. Today, we're diving into something we all experience, but maybe don't think about enough, that voice inside your head. Yeah, that one, the one you're using to understand me right now. Your internal commentator, the narrator of your life's movie. It's with you all day and every day. You rehearse conversations with it, you argue with people who aren't even there, and pretty much live tweet your existence to yourself. Sounds totally normal, right? We barely even question it. But here's a wild thought. What if that voice, that constant narration, isn't actually essential for being conscious? What if it's less of a feature and more of a noisy crutch, a middleman between you and actual unfiltered reality? Remember being a baby before you had language? Yeah, me neither. But imagine experiencing the world without that constant chatter. Now, this isn't just mystic mountaintop guru stuff. These are real documented cases. Take Jeannie, for example, the so-called feral child discovered in California in the 1970s. She was locked in a room and isolated for over a decade with almost no human interaction or language exposure. It's a horrible, tragic, and heartbreaking story. But when they found her, she had no internal language, no grammar, no narrative voice like ours, just raw awareness. Even after years of therapy, Jeannie never fully developed the kind of internal voice we take for granted. She existed in a state of silence, feeling, reacting, observing, but not narrating. Can you even imagine that? Fully grown, no inner monologue, no constant mental commentary, just the present moment, stretched out, unfiltered. It sounds almost peaceful, right? Though obviously not peaceful when it's born from that kind of trauma. But let's play devil's advocate here, because silence doesn't mean emptiness. Just because Jeannie didn't have language doesn't mean she didn't have an internal world. She still had feelings, sensations, reactions, possibly even anger or sadness. She just didn't have words for them. Her inner experience wasn't absent. It was just nonverbal. She may have felt warmth, fear, comfort, connection, but without the commentary we layer on top. She didn't have narration, but she still had being, which brings us back to the point. You don't need a running monologue to be aware, to feel, to exist. Most of us can't even fathom this because our entire sense of identity feels wrapped up in that narrator. It's why people say, I can't meditate. That voice in my head is way too loud. But maybe it's not your thoughts that are too loud. Maybe it's your language, your words. You need to put everything into words. That's shouting down something deeper. Your actual thoughts, your pure awareness might be trying to break free from the cage of syntax. Think about it. Children raised in extreme isolation or deaf individuals who never had access to sign language early on show us something both terrifying and beautiful. You don't need words to think. You don't even need them to feel profound emotion. You just need presence. So here's the big question. Who are you without your inner voice? If that internal monologue just vanished, would you vanish too? Not literally, of course, but would the you that you think you are disappear? Or maybe would you finally get some peace and quiet? When the voice quiets down, what you're left with isn't emptiness. It's everything that's already been living in your body. Feelings, sensations, even stress that the voice was trying to distract you from. You might start to notice the tightness in your chest, the flutter in your stomach, the ache behind your ears. That's not a bad thing. It's your body talking, finally being heard. So yes, you might find peace from the chatter, but you'll also gain access to something deeper, the truth your body's been carrying all along. This is what meditation is all about. It's not about stopping thoughts, it's about finding the space between them. It's about discovering that something deeper remains when the narrator takes a break, something older, more primal, more real. We've built an entire civilization on the idea that thoughts equals language, and that silence is empty, or worse, unintelligent. But what if the real silence, the profound silence, is awareness without a narrator? In yogic philosophy, there's a foundation teaching the dance between Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is nature, everything you can observe, feel, and describe. It's your thoughts, your emotions, your body, even your voice inside your head. It's the ever-changing energy of the mind, of memory, of story. But Purusha is the witness, the eternal, unchanging awareness beneath all of it. It doesn't judge, it doesn't narrate, it simply is. And when the inner voice quiets, you begin to notice you're still there, not gone, not blank, but fully present. That's Purusha, the seer behind the scene. And that's the beginning of moksha. Moksha means liberation. In yogic philosophy, it's the freedom from suffering caused by attachment, especially the attachment to identity, to thoughts, to the belief that you are your mind. It's the realization that you are not your story, not your pain, not even your personality. You are the awareness behind it all. And when you know that, not just intellectually, but viscerally, you become free. Free from the need to constantly prove yourself. Free from the fear of what others think. Free from the voice in your head that says you're not enough or you're too much. Moksha isn't about leaving the world. It's about showing up fully with clarity and peace, because you're no longer lost in the noise. And when you begin to rest as Purusha, the witness, you stop getting pulled under by every wave of emotion. You stop believing every thought must be true just because it's loud. You start to taste freedom, not by escaping life, but by seeing through it. That freedom is moksha, not floating above the world, but moving through it with clarity, engaged, present, but no longer entangled. So when you ask, who am I, without the voice in my head, you're not just playing with philosophy, you're brushing up against liberation. The next time that voice in your head starts up its usual monologue, just for a moment, try asking it, hey, who are you really? And what would my life be like if I wasn't constantly watching it through your subtitles? Because deep down, you already know there's a way to quiet the mind. You've probably felt glimpses of it when time slows down, or you forgot to narrate because you were having such a great time. So what's stopping you from exploring it more? Often, it's just that little bit of fear of the unknown, fear of the silence. But beyond that fear, that's where the good stuff is. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for weekly videos that blend therapeutic insight with mind-body practices to support emotional well-being. New videos drop every Friday. I'll see you next time.